Hi, I'm Chef Sherry Ronning, and I am here. It's a weekend. We made it through a week of healthy griddle cooking, and I am going to be making some butter griddle steaks or griddle butter steaks and sauteed vegetables to continue our healthy griddle cooking series that I've been doing. Let's get started. I have the griddle at, I'm using, let me switch the cameras here so you can see what I'm actually using. So I have the electric Blackstone griddle 17-inch. I'm using the lid today to help kind of steam cook my stuff here. And I have it set at 350. We may adjust the temperature a little bit. And you can use the outdoor gas griddle. I'm here in Michigan, as you can see the snow out there. We're predicted to get a snowstorm. We're like kind of right in the middle of it. What is it? It's just a little over 30 degrees, maybe 32 degrees out there. Too cold for me to go out there and cook on the griddle. So I have my electric griddle. Love, love, love this for cooking in the wintertime here at Michigan. And, I missed when I just had the gas griddle outside. I missed cooking in the winter because it was just too darn cold to cook outside for me. I'm a wimp and don't like to go out there when it's really cold. And I got this and absolutely love cooking with it indoors, and best investment that I've ever made. It is a little bit different cooking, as far as getting used to the differences. This has a porcelain top on it, so it's, what do you call it? It's like a non-stick surface, so you can't use any metal utensils. You're gonna wanna use like the silicone stuff with the silicone. And then I use the plastic spatula when I'm cooking on this griddle. When you're using the outside one, you use the metal utensils and that's just fine. Let's see, I want to give a shout out. If you're from Facebook, which I see I do have a couple people from Facebook, I am broadcasting live from my YouTube channel, and also I have a Facebook group that is called Blackstone Griddle Lovers, and if I haven't joined it, please go and join it. You have to answer a few questions, and I have stuff popping up, comments. I'd love hearing comments from you guys, so tell me where you're from. I know I've had Dan from, where in the heck were you from? He's been on a couple times. I want to say Indiana, but I'm not quite sure if that's correct. And but if you're doing from Facebook, make sure to put your name in when you comment so that I know who you are, because when the comments come through in here, it just says Facebook user, and I can't tell who it is until I get off, and then I go into the Facebook and look at the comments, and then I can see who was there. But also I want to do a shout out for Ryan, and I'm going to slaughter your last name. I know I am, so I apologize ahead of time. But Ryan Hoagland, Hoogland. He's been commenting. He's been on a couple times. Mike. I love Mike. And I love seeing Ryan's stuff. You guys are amazing. You guys are inspiration and help me cook. Just keep on plugging away with cooking, and I just love that you guys are doing that. And I also want to shout out Mike is, what is his mess hall? He actually has Blackstone Life, I believe, but Ryan has the Barbecue, Blackstone, and Beer Facebook group. So if you guys want to check those out, those are really two good groups. I'm in all the time. I really like them, and I share my recipes there. But also I wanted to ask, I'm not sure if Ryan is on or not, but I know he's done competitions, and maybe Mike, you might be able to answer this. Is he still doing the griddle battle? Is he doing a future one? I think he's done twice because he's commented. He's done a few posts on my website or on my Facebook page, and I just want, if he is doing another griddle battle coming up, probably not until summertime. I know he did a fall one this last fall, but please put in the comments so people can see that, so they can check it out maybe. And I know Ryan, I did check out his page, and he's doing classes. So Ryan, if you have certain classes that you want to let people know about, put in the comments, and so they can check it out too. So he's got a lot of good stuff. Ryan is from Illinois, the cold state too. He's doing stuff in cold weather, and I don't know how in the heck that he can do griddle when it's cold out like that, because I'm such a wuss. But let's see, we have a 22-inch griddle, the E series. Yeah, and so mine is a 17-inch. There is the 22-inch. I have outside for the gas griddles, I have a 22-inch and also a 36-inch. So I've cooked on all of them, all the different sizes, and it's sometimes like this, I'll have to maybe cook in batches, because I'm sometimes used to cooking on a 36-inch, which it's like twice this size, and I have to just like plan ahead sometimes, but that's okay. We can get through it. So let's see, this is warm. I'm gonna get rocking and rolling, and I want to do a shout out with my cookbook. I have the recipes for the Blackstone Griddle cookbook. If you want that, go on mygriddlesecrets.com, and I have all of my griddle stuff on there, mygriddlesecrets.com, and that also will link to my website page, which is from Michigan to thetable.com, which I have all kinds of Blackstone griddle recipes on there, or griddle recipes, and you can go just look at my stuff and get inspiration for cooking. Just cook on this. That's my plea to people, is to get people to cook on their griddle. I've heard so many stories where people are afraid to cook on here, or they're gonna mess this up or that up, and you won't. Just cook on it. Let's see. Okay, in July. The griddle cooler. Okay, so just look at the comments, and we will have more information on different stuff coming up maybe. Let's get started. I've done a lot of talking here, and the griddle is hot, set at 350. If you're doing the outside, the gas griddle, you're probably going to want to do medium low, just not too high. That's my thing with when you're cooking steaks. Low and slow sometimes is the best. So unless you want it like rare and you're going to sear each side and be done, then maybe you'll want a little bit higher temperature. But let's see, I'm going to just show you what I have here. So I have the different steaks, and this is so controversial. You can use any type of steaks. If you have money for a T-bone or a porterhouse, buy them. If you don't, that's okay. Use these. I just got at the store. This is a top sirloin filet, and these are just going to be quick cooking steaks. My husband likes medium rare. I like medium. So you're not going to have it too long on the griddle. This is a little bit thinner than that. And what is this? This is a petite steak. So, I never know what what I like when I'm going. I know what I like, but it's like, can I afford it? Do I want to splurge? Do I want, sometimes not. Sometimes I just want a steak, and a lot of times I want a steak. So this is the steaks that we're going to be using. I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil just on the griddle for the steak. Your favorite seasoning, which if you know me, I like the Lowry's and the Morton seasoning. You can use salt and pepper. You can use your favorite. My brother likes the garlic seasoning. And for the butter steaks, I'm going to be using this. This is a Parmesan garlic basil butter, and This is pre-packaged that I buy. I've also made my own. I make my own all the time, especially when I have fresh herbs from the garden coming. And I will do just softened butter and your favorite seasonings. I usually throw in a little bit of Lowry's, a little bit of Morton's there, and chopped up fresh. I've done dried also. And you can add Parmesan, you can add garlic. I add just a little bit to it. And that's what I use to put on my steaks. I do this for the chicken also. So delicious that. And let's see. I'm going to do some vegetables. So I just got the vegetables cooked or just cut up there. Cut up small so that they cook quicker. If you have big ones, then it's just going to take longer to cook. And I'm going to be using the vegetables. I'm using this olive oil, garlic and Parmesan. This is our favorite. I highly recommend this. You have to shake it up before you use it, and because it likes to settle on the bottom, but this is definitely worth trying. Let's get started. I think I'm going to start the vegetables. So I'm dividing my griddle in half, and the vegetables, let's see. So remember the griddle, this griddle, it's hot in the middle, not so much on the outside. So I'm going to kind of keep it closer towards the center, but I'm going to basically cut it in half. I'm going to do the vegetables because I want to get them, I think they're going to be about the same time. So let's do the steaks, because if the steaks come off first, you really like your steaks to rest like 5 minutes or so and let those juices flow in there. So let's start the steaks first, because if they come off first, then it's okay to set them, let them set a little bit. We're just going to put a little bit of olive oil or your oil of choice if you want. I'm going to spread around. This griddle, it has a tendency to go towards the grease trap there, so I'm just going to kind of spread it around. I have 3 steaks. I'm going to use this. Remember, cross-contamination. Try to keep it to a minimum. Oh, seasoning. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to season this side, so when I flip it over, then I'll season both sides. So you want to make sure, and not too much, a little bit there. I'm going to season this one also. Like that. So when I take this, I'm going to flip it over so the seasoned is on the hot grease there. And when I put this down, I should hear a sizzle. So we'll kind of see if we hear, yeah. That's exactly what you want to hear. And I'm going to kind of like pat it down just a little bit so it adheres to the griddle. Because I noticed that when I put it down, it didn't. There we go. I didn't hear like that sear all the way. And then I just have my steak here that I'm using. Mine and Lola's. Lola likes steak too, so her and I usually go share. Go like that. Put that right there. Pat it just a little. This, because I used raw meat, it's going in the sink. I have a sink of soapy water there. Make sure cross-contamination. I always like to have a bucket of soapy water. When I'm out there, I do have the bucket of soapy water. When I'm in here, I have the sink full of soapy water that I like to make sure to not cross-contaminate there. So we season the bottom. We need to lightly season the top. Because remember, when I'm using the butter on there, there's a little bit of seasoning in that too. So you don't want to over season, but you want to make sure that it's seasoned good enough. All right, and actually I think I'm going to turn the griddle up because I'm not liking the way as far as the temperature of it. So I'm going to turn it up to 400. So with doing that, and this is where sometimes, okay, we turn the dial here. And I'm going to set it. So yeah, I turned it and set it. It says 400 on the pad here. So then I'm going to hold it just one little push, because that's where I run into problems with that all the time. And so I heard it. It says temperature set. So now The lines are not all there because it's still warming up a little bit, but it'll warm, it'll come up to temperature here, and we should be good on that. I'm gonna do the vegetables on this side, so I'm gonna use this. Shake it up. This is just, basically this is olive oil, and it has Parmesan garlic, and I'm gonna spell it D-E-L-A-L-L-O. Delay, and I'm horrible with trying to pronounce things. We actually will use several of their products, but my husband has been known a couple times to order this directly from the company because our local store, they go through it so fast, and when we go to get it, there's an empty spot on the shelf. And I am just going to put a little bit down there, and instantly you'll start smelling the garlic. I wish I just got a whiff of it. That garlic from there, you'll get. And I'm just going to put the vegetables right on here. Like that. I'm not going to add all of these. But see, my vegetables are kind of on the, I would say, medium sized. There. And that should be good enough for both of us. And you know what? I'm going to season just a little bit. I know sometimes I like to season my food. I season as I go. That's kind of the chef in me. It's what I do. The steaks, I can see, I'm gonna like kind of zoom in if I can show you a little bit closer. See how the steaks are getting that brown on the bottom there? That is perfect. That is just how we want it. So I'm just gonna let this cook. In this process, don't rush it. You gotta let the steaks do their thing. And they tell you when they're ready. It's not you like 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other side, good. You gotta let, this one's thicker, so it's gonna take a little bit longer, but then my husband wants medium rare, and I want medium, so these may be done about the same time. It just all depends. The vegetables I'm gonna take and just toss a little bit in the garlic, the olive oil. It has the seasoning in it. Oh, just lost some vegetables. I just want to kind of make sure that they're coated good, but basically I'm gonna steam them. And if I were on, I'm gonna pick up my runaway vegetable there. If I were on the outside griddle there, this would be big enough to where I could space this out, and I would use the dome lid like this. And this, I can use this, but I don't know if I don't think I really want to steam my steak. So I'm not going to use the lid, even though I'm very tempted on using it. I'm going to maybe do, one thing I like to do is the water. So I have a squirt bottle. You can just use water from the tap. I like to do this because when you put this on the griddle, it's going to steam. So just make sure that you don't burn yourself. I'm going to use the lid. Let's see if we can get, yeah, I can get pretty much everything in there. We're going to try to do it. So basically I'm going to steam the vegetables as the steak is cooking. I'm going to just put water over top of it. You hear that, the noise, you see the steam coming up, which is exactly what you want. And then I'm just going to cover this with the dome lid, and I'm actually going to remove this. So this comes off very easily. I wasn't sure if I was going to use it or not, but with the steaks, I'm not going to. So this looks like it's browned. Yeah, it's pretty good. And another thing with the steaks, which drives me crazy when I see people doing this, is don't be a flipper. Don't flip your steaks. You want them, keep them there to where you only flip them once, maybe flip them again, but only flip them once, and then they should be cooked. That is huge thing that I see people do, and it drives me crazy when people do that. You don't be a flipper. Just don't be a flipper. Just take, and sometimes I'll have a tendency to do that. Just watch it. I'm going to make sure that the steaks aren't burning, but I want to make sure that it's cooking a little ways up. And these ones are going to be hard to cook. True transparency, the filet mignon ones are a little bit harder to cook, but patience. That's what I try to tell people, is just patience, and sometimes I don't have that. And this, to me, is pretty good. So the brownness is about halfway up. It's nice and golden brown. I don't know if I'm going to turn this. Flip that like that. We got nice golden brown color. Let's see if I can get close there. Nice golden brown color, which is exactly what I want. And I may have to flip this back over, but I'm going to turn it because I'm afraid this is darker brown, darker golden brown. It's not burnt, but it's a dark golden brown, and you want the golden brown color to add flavor to it. Flavor, brown is flavor, burnt is black is burnt. So look at that. It adhered nice. See, I must have not have pushed this down onto the griddle when I did it. It adhered to the griddle on the edges. Well, remember, I kind of pushed these down a little bit, so the whole flat part of it adhered. Now this, since I touched the meat, and make sure to rinse your hands off, this is where the magic happens. Mike, he switched over to YouTube. Thank you. And he's going to share his Blackstone Life, Facebook Blackstone Life Facebook group. So if you guys be in active groups, get in there and join them groups, because they are awesome. I've learned so much from those groups. It has helped me big time. Yes, use the lid. I know maybe I should have used the whole lid, but I got the dome lid that's steaming my vegetables, so I'm just going to check. But the butter. This is where the magic happens with the steaks, is adding a little bit of butter. I'm going to add dollops all over. And this, you don't want to do this step when the raw side is up. You want to make sure to do this step after you flip the steak. Because what happens is, now this is going to melt. It's cooking, and it's going to melt in it, but it's also going to melt around it. And you're going to have like brown butter, and it's just going to taste amazing. But you don't want to do this step too soon, because it will turn into black butter, and it'll burn, and it'll become bitter, and you don't want that. So if you get to the point, like maybe you've added the butter and you can tell that it's turning black, maybe put the steak on a different part of the griddle so that you're not getting that flavor into it. That is one thing. I messed with a lot of black butter or brown butter. I've actually tested to see how far the stages I can get it to black, from brown to golden brown to black, and it's a pretty kind of fascinating process. So I'm just going to turn this. As you see this, we got golden brown, which is just what we want. I can tell that it's cooking. It's not like rock hard. Like that. I'm gonna put it back under the dome lid, and I am going to add just a little bit more of the oil, the And I gotta shake it up. We're gonna shake it up here. I'm gonna add some more of this. And pour, I'm not gonna add a lot, but I'm just gonna pour just a little bit. And then I'm going to do a little bit more of the steam, which it might not need it, but I'm adding a little bit more so that it gets that steam in that lid and it steam cooks those vegetables like that. And let's go back to the steak. Can you see I have the butter is melting down the side here, which is just what I want. I want to have that there. And this steak is looking pretty good, but I can tell, I like mine medium. So like medium rare to medium, yeah. I like a little bit of firmness. I don't like it raw. My husband will eat it. He likes his medium rare. So that's not too bad. I'm just gonna let that go just a little bit longer. You can see that it's not burnt. It's still got the golden brown color in there, which is what I want. I don't know if you can see a little bit of different, this view, probably about the same. These here, this, and we may have to adjust this. This here, this part is pretty kind of raw yet. So, and it's still thick. So I'm gonna just see, it's leaning to the one side a little bit. I'm actually gonna try to, yeah, this is what I want. So I'm gonna cook it, it's staying, and it might not stay. I'm gonna cook a little bit on that side. And I might actually, because it's gonna fall. So I'm gonna use this one, use this steak here as a prep. And let me see. I'm gonna do the same thing with that because it's golden brown on the bottom, and I'm gonna cook this just a little bit longer, and then I'm pulling it. I don't want it to be too done. I think mine is probably, it's firm. You can use a thermometer. I don't know, with steaks, I don't know. I just kind of go with my gut instinct with my steak. This one isn't too bad on the bottom. Oh, I think I'm just going to leave it on just a little bit longer. You know what, with my husband, so you feel it, and supposedly you're supposed to be able to, when I went to culinary school, they said check this. I don't get that. I don't understand it. I go by instinct and go by looking at something and maybe feeling it, and I think these look, there's a little bit of color there. Just to get a little bit of color on it, not necessarily to cook it, but just a little color for it and I think those are probably pretty good. I think our vegetables, I think I'm gonna pull them. That's mine. And see how it just gave it just a little bit of color. There was a lot, it was pretty blood raw showing through there, but I'm gonna pull that. And there's that. And as far as the vegetables, I'm gonna turn this off. It is, there's still, I can feel there's still a little bit of crunch to them. So I'm just going to toss them a little bit. We've got nice golden brown color to it. Remember, brown adds flavor to your food. You don't want it burnt, but brown adds a little bit of flavor. And so with healthy cooking, I would just serve this on the plate and maybe with a side salad and call it good. My husband is not healthy. He does not doing the diet like I am, which I actually probably will remove just a little bit for myself here. And then for him, I am going to add some cheese. He likes cheese on his vegetables, and actually I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to shut the griddle off because the vegetables are cooked and the cheese, and everybody's different on this. You know you can make a homemade cheese sauce. You can do, we have good Gordon Foods Service cheese that we buy, and this is what he likes. This is what my husband likes. So this is what I'm serving him. It's not anything fancy, and it'll actually, when it melts, you can't tell that it's even sliced cheese. I'm just going like that. And if I need to, I can always add the dome lid over top of it, but I'm just going to let it hang out there. The steaks, I'm going to just let rest. And thumb to finger, done this. I don't know. They tried teaching me that in culinary school, Mike, and I just never, I just could never get it. I guess sometimes you can't teach an old dog new trick. I went to culinary school, what was it? And I graduated 2019, so I went when I was 46. So it was kind of my second career thing. And there's a few things that I struggled with in culinary school, and this was one of them. But when I was cooking the steaks, when I was going through the restaurant class, I never had anybody return my steaks. They said that they were all good. So, I guess old dog new trick, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, and as far as a probe too, I do recommend, I use the probe this when I am, especially with chicken, but if you're really unsure, don't hesitate to use this to check your temperature if you're really unsure. Some chefs are like completely against doing that, and I am like, beginner chefs, you got to start somewhere. You need to find your way, and this is a perfect tool to do that. And don't be afraid to use this. This is my one spiel is don't be afraid to use a temperature probe if you need it. So my steaks have been resting. They're looking pretty good. I do have a little bit of juice there, but it's not like blood. It's got the brownness in it. It's not like red blood coming out of it. So, and this is pretty good. I'm just going to use the dome lid for just a little bit here for his. I'm going to cut into this. And what time are we at? So I talked for several minutes beforehand. We're just a little over 30 minutes, and boom, look at that. Healthy dinner in under 30 minutes. And one thing that I did forget to mention, the steak, I did let it sit out on the counter for a couple of hours and rest. That is one thing that my husband has done, we've done for several years. Don't ask me the science behind it because I don't know. I just do it because my husband likes me to do it that way. So I'm going to cut into it. Let's see. Hopefully, pray to God it's not too done. Which it's not bad. I like medium. Look at that. We got a little bit of color there. It's not bloody. I'm not so much with the blood there. For me, that's perfect. You know, I eat that. And Lola, my dog, we like this kind of steak. I'm gonna let my husband cut into his, but there's two. His is the same. There's juice there, you know, which is what you want. And his is not blood, but I do see, you know, I see a little bit of pink color there. So I think his is probably pretty close to medium rare. And we got brown color. We got golden brown there. I'm going to stop playing with the food. So I like to play with my food. And I've got his vegetables. Look at that. His is perfectly melted there. Just like that. And there we go. That is going to be my husband's dinner. I know he's waiting. He's patiently waiting in the bedroom where he's watching TV, but it's like 5:35 and he's hungry. He wants to eat. So we're going to go and eat. If you have any questions, comments, please put them in. I go through after we're done and try to answer everybody's. Yep, happy spouse, happy house. Yep, that's, you know, I try to do my part. Let's see. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate you helping, or coming in here and showing me your support. This is what it's all about. Us griddlers staying together. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit on the outside. There's the griddle crew, and then there's me, somebody like me that's trying to do my recipes and share them, and I'm just doing my part. My thing is sharing recipes. It's like I am all about sharing my recipes. I know some people like to hoard their recipes, and since my mom passed away several years ago and a lot of her recipes were lost, I am all about sharing. And my kids, I want to make sure that if something happens to me, that my great nephews, my nephew, my brother, my kids, and them, I want to make sure that they have my recipes. And so this is me sharing my love with the world, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm continuing this healthy griddle cooking live series I'm going to try all through January. I don't know if I'll make it. I have a list of healthy recipes, and I'm going to try to keep on going with this. If you guys want to just tune in, I'd be elated. If you have any comments, if you want any recipes that you want me to cook, if there's something healthy that you want me to cook, that is one thing that I'm going to do. I know there's a blogger friend of mine that has some recipes that I've seen and I really like that I've not made, and I'm actually going to cook her recipes. So if there's something that you want me to cook that you want to know about, healthy, January is going to be healthy. Then after that, then I may switch. I'm not a healthy cook, so I'm trying my best here, but you know, let's keep this going. And I guess that is all that I have for this evening. It is snowing like crazy here in Michigan. It's kind of been mellow. It's getting nighttime now, but we're supposed to have a big snowstorm coming in. So I'm just going to hunker down, and I will be cooking live tomorrow. Not sure what I'm going to be making. I have a couple things planned, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I just kind of wing it. That's the kind of cook I am. Just whenever I decide to cook, I cook. So, okay. You guys have a great evening, and make sure to subscribe. I have really some couple Facebook Blackstone or Griddle Facebook groups that are popping their links into the group. Make sure to go check them out, please. These are really good groups that I have learned a lot from, and I continue to learn from, and they keep on continuing to bring us new and exciting stuff, and they have all different kind of stuff going on. So make sure to check it out. Oh, I want to do another plug. Go to mygriddlesecrets.com. That is one of my websites that I have, and it's all kinds of griddle related. I have a griddle membership that you can join. I have the griddle printed spiral bound cookbook. I have the digital cookbook if you want to get it right away. Just go check that out. So, I have checklists on there, like different freebie checklists. You can go and subscribe to my page and get all kinds of recipes, and just go and see what that is. I need to stop talking because I'm hungry and I want to go eat. I'm sure my husband wants to go eat. So you guys have a great evening. We will see you again later. Bye.